Good evening, known world. I am Excellency Rahmut al-Tayyiba, coming to you from the Kingdom of Artemisia in the fair barony of Bronzehelm. With me today is just Fergie, Order of the Pelican. Oh my.
Excuse me.
Hi, Fergie.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. It's a little warm, but we're doing good in Atenveld here. So
Sunny Atenveld in fair October.
Yes, you could say that, yes.
Why don't you introduce yourself to my audience and let them know a little bit about what makes you so awesome, because you are.
Yeah, I'll debate that, and I know several people who debate it too, but that's another story. Well, I'm Fergus DeBotha. I am of the clan DeBotha, which consists of about 5 people all total. And I've been playing since Estrella War number 6 or 7. I can't remember. Whichever one was in 1990 was my first event. And I was kidnapped there. That was fun. And, and now it is 30 some odd years later, and I'm still doing it. And actually trying to convince people to do it too. So that's part of the reason I'm here, I'm thinking. And
yes, I think so.
that and I got something coming up, but we'll get to that later. So
we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So before we get going, Cal, could you throw up our little disclaimer banner? Once again, the views and opinions expressed are those of the participants and do not reflect any official policy or position of SCA Incorporated. And we must say this because, Fergie, you hold an office right now.
Yes, I am the chatelaine of the Kingdom of Atenveld, and that's in case I decide to put my foot in it.
Well,
which is a definite possibility in my case.
We could all put our foot in it at any moment in time, but we want to just make sure that it's clear that, once again, this is your opinions and your views and not that of the SCA or your position.
No.
All right. So you've been playing, actually, you and I have been playing, you've been playing 2 years longer than I have, actually, Fergie.
I'm sorry.
Once you said, you're sorry. Don't be sorry. It's all good.
Well, you probably remember more of what it is, because I used to be a bit of a party boy back in the day. And I eventually found out I was allergic to alcohol. I kept breaking out in ass. And it kind of went from there.
Also, we do swear a little bit on this show. I don't know if Cal has that banner ready. I'm so sorry. Yes.
Sorry.
Just in case there are people that are listening that have children and they do not want to hear.
Sorry.
Oh, no, don't be sorry. No apologizing for that. A sorry is something to wear in this case. So.
I don't know if it fit, but okay.
Tequila makes you break out in handcuffs. You know, yes. Cal, you're not supposed to tell my dirty secret, okay? I do not drink tequila for a reason. Um, well, okay, maybe that's lie. Maybe I shouldn't drink it. Occasionally, I might sip it.
Yeah.
But
But
that's good.
I don't touch it anymore because it's bad for me.
Well,
So
and
I
that's a
just
good
don't do it.
part of retention because the way we play, especially people who have played long term versus people who have played short term, and our reasonings for why we play do change as
Mhm.
we play
Mhm.
within the SCA. I definitely don't play like I used to.
No, 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 I don't.
So,
I used to build. I used to go out to an event and spend about 8.5 hours building a tent and making it so that it was possible for me to be comfortable in my tent for a week, and then 8 hours to 12 hours breaking it down and packing it away and making this thing look like it was from the Beverly Hillbillies on the top of my wife's truck. And we decided one day, says, you know what, we're getting too old for this, so we went for a pop-up, and now we've got a camper trailer that we use.
oh, my husband and I actually just had our first like serious conversation this summer about, we're not as young as we used to be. It
Mm-hmm.
might be a little convenient instead of loading a trailer with a bunch of accoutrements,
Mm-hmm.
setting up this, camp site space. Maybe we should just bring like, a sunshade, day shade kind of thing, set that up, with our household where we're camping, but actually just stay in a camper because man, the
um,
backs, the knees, they just aren't as nice, after you play for 30 years.
I'll never go back, but in a way that kind of goes into a segue, because you've got to figure that the people that were our founders, okay,
Mm-hmm.
if me and you, we've been playing 30 years and we're having trouble with our backs and knees and everything like that right there,
Mm-hmm.
imagine the people that have been in for 50 years, what they're going through.
And the
And
people who have been in for 50 years, that's when the magic started.
yes, exactly. And this is one of my passion points right here,
Let's get
is
into it.
that let's get into it, because they are literally magic. And I've been telling the college group I work with, the College of St. Felix, shout out, and at the University of Arizona, the truth, which is, you know, it literally is true that if you don't know where you're coming from, you don't know where you're going. And there are people out there with stories that'll turn your hair white, no pun intended. And it's amazing every day how much that we're losing people due to age and infirmness, that they can't come out to events. Well,
Mhm.
personally, I'm of the opinion that we should start making actual efforts to get them out to the events, because sometimes all they need is just a ride and
Mm-hmm.
a chair to sit down in, and someone to make sure that they've got some food and beverage with them and everything like that.
Yeah, and make sure
So
their necessities and needs are being met, which it doesn't take much to make sure. Hey, you okay? Can I get you something to drink? Hey,
yeah,
it looks like, can I take this? Your sideboard feast. Can I take
yeah,
your garbage off your table for you? Clear at the
because
table.
because age should be respected. It should be respected, because and I learned this the hard way when I was back in high school, because one of the things that I did was I was in a vocational program called HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America. And one of the things I did was I went to work at a convalescence center, and I spent about a year and a half daily basis with older people who
Mm-hmm.
basically have been forgotten by society.
Mm-hmm.
And the pure amount of knowledge and experience I got with these people, I learned how to play poker and how to bluff inside straight. I learned I learned anything and everything about plumbing, because we had a retired plumber there, and he would teach me how, just verbally, I'd go in there and service his toilet, and he says, "Oh, this is what you need to do," da, 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 da. and just the stories you would get of people who were there in World War II.
Yeah.
And we're telling you, we even had one that was a World War One veteran. Yes, in the horse cavalry too. So it's
Oh,
you get stories, you get experiences that you would not get
well,
of walking down the street, and people don't realize that these stories are going away.
yeah. So it's been really nice. Like some things that have came out of COVID, like going, seeing a library virtually and seeing like, the curators look at and show you all the actual artwork or the extant, items. But pre-COVID, pre-internet, if
Yeah.
you wanted to do the research, the original players would do the research in person. They would go to the library, they would go look through the card catalog to find, where the book would have it. Oh, this book doesn't have enough information. Hey, I see this says this is at such and such museum. Well, gosh, I guess my dream trip is now to go to, Turkey to this museum so I can look at the extant article of clothing that's still remaining and reach out and talk to the curator and get the permission set up.
Yeah. And I bet you right now that the college students that are watching are like, card catalog?
Do decimal system? What?
Yes, exactly. But it's no, they're sharper than that right there.
I know they are.
But it's one of the things I did back about 10, 15 years ago after I quit partying so much was I got a video camera and I started recording dinosaurs. Because in the SCA, people who've been around for a while are called dinosaurs. And I got interviews with a good number of people who'd have been in at the then time 30 and 40 year mark, and was able to edit these into watchable videos. There was one, I did an audio, it's on YouTube, of Master Yehuda of Nuremberg. And he literally was on a golf cart when I interviewed him at Estrella War. And he said, I have to go. And as soon as he did that, and he passed away shortly thereafter. So, and the thing is I was able to get that information about him and save it for his family and his friends and for future generations. So everybody would know how cool, how amazing this guy was. And it was total happenstance luck that just happened that I was able to record that. But the thing is I've since taken all my videos and passed it on to somebody, Master Raven Main, who has been working on a project similar. And that way I could move on to other things and work on chatelaning, because I've been a seneschal, I've been a deputy seneschal, I've been and the most of the time other than that, I've been a chatelaine. And that's what I am into is connecting with people and telling them, this is what we got. This is what we do. And
these are the people that do the stuff.
Yeah. And get some kind of reaction from them so that we eventually learn what our passions are. What rabbit hole do you want to go down first? And I got a bunch of them. I got tons of rabbit holes. It's just,
and sometimes they interconnect, and sometimes, you have to do a little quick hop to get over to the other one, but they're all there. They're all accessible.
Yeah.
And I have been a chatelaine before for Shire. And for me, like, it was all about those connections and how to make those connections happen. So it was just a facilitator role, really. Like, yes, you are the welcome committee. Yes, you are the person that is that first point of contact, if possible. But you're like taking two people or, a passion in a person and like, hey, look, you can do that. What, you like science? Well, there was medieval chemistry. Guess what? It's there. We have it.
Yes. And the thing is that different places use different methods, is what I've found over the years. And eventually when I became to be a kingdom chatelaine, I really noticed the difference. And I actually got with some of the other chatelaines who had something that worked. For example, Sir Alexander McAndrew. Oh, hey, Alexander.
Love you, Alexander. I love being a quest giver.
Yes. He came up with something that he did his master's degree thesis on called story bonding.
Oh, I love story bonding.
And it has been adopted in the Kingdom of Atenveld by yours truly and all my people. But it makes sense. So for those of you who don't know what story bonding is basically it's the hero's journey, but encapsulated. So you get like the hero looking for something. Luke Skywalker looking for his thing. Okay, sorry, Lucasfilm. I don't mean to step on your thing. These claimers of the thing of the Luke. Anyway,
We don't talk of the mouse.
you don't talk to the mouse. Okay, some kid finds a wizard who teaches him a ways of doing stuff. And he decides, I can do it, I can't do it. And then eventually, somebody croaks his aunt and uncle and he can do it. So anyway, he gets in there and starts learning something. Well, eventually he gets to the point where he becomes a teacher, and the cycle continues.
Mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes, I'm not saying everything ends up in a Kylo-ish Ren sort of way, but still, it's the basic concept of knowledge being passed on. And that's one of the things that I do as far as retention is when people are first starting out, I say, okay, you can go into this right here. All we ask is once you learn this stuff, that before you take off or something like that, you pass it on to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Share the wealth of knowledge, share the wealth of
that right there
experience.
Brings people in and makes them stay, because I've seen it's a type of commitment that they have to make to themselves. And
it's not it's not a difficult to fulfill commitment. It's very easy to be, hey, I know this little bit of thing. I would like to share it with you if you want to know it. Or, hey, I did this thing. It no longer makes me happy, but you seem to really enjoy this. Would you like to have this? Because it doesn't serve me anymore.
Exactly.
Books, armor, weapons, garb, tools, all of it. We're sharing all of it because that's what we do.
I used to do rapier, and I eventually, had my knees and back start to give out on me and everything like that. And I just gathered up my stuff one day and said, hey, Carter, here you go. Shout out to Carter. Anyway, Gerhardt would like that right there. But anyway, I'll do cues all night. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're perfectly fine. I love it. So our game's changed. And we definitely have, certain aspects of what we do as Chatelaines and as just members when it comes to passing that wealth of knowledge down. Mm-hmm. But we always talk about how the SCA can do better. And one of the things that you and I talked about before the show was about the changes that we see in the SCA. Mm-hmm. One of which being a change in some officer roles. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Well, I'm not...
Shout out at the top of the room.
I'm the one to be talking about it, but apparently at the last board of directors meeting, there was talk and a motion made and decided that 2 positions were made into greater officer positions. Now, I've yet to see anything come from this, but I look forward to seeing it.
And that's something you can find by just going through the meeting minutes for the SCA on SCA.org.
Yeah,
because it is there.
Yeah, but it's the thing is that they made chatelaines and hospitalers and DEIB, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, which is what Master Charles does, or in his infinite wisdom, are now greater officers.
Yes.
So this right here changes the game plan a little bit more. It's not just reporting to the seneschal of every group and saying, well, I need to do this, but at the same time, I'd like to do this over here. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that some people say demos, we must do demos. Some people say we must do demos at science fiction conventions because that's the only way to get people in, and it's like, it's everybody's got their opinion, but the thing is that you need to find what works. Mm-hmm. One of the things that was done by Countess Leah here in Aitenveld, she was my boss when I was a deputy Senate chatelaine, was she did something called the Aitenveld Demographic Survey. And it was basically, how did you come to be in the SCA? And it was a questionnaire, went through it. It took a little bit of time. And at the end of it, we came across a significant variant in the force, for want of a better term.
I like it.
Did you know that in Aitenveld, of the people who answered this query in this this survey, approximately 72% were brought in by a friend or a family member. Not demos, not school showing what's going on. Family and friends says, hey, come play with me. And 71% said yes. Okay.
Guess I'll
That's
try.
significant.
Yes, I will try putting on funny clothes and doing funny things. And oh my God, I love it. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah, that's significant. That's a significant number, and it's scientifically found. So we actually started, saying like, bring somebody to fighter practice with you, and it worked. We started building up a good core of people and everything like that. And then COVID hit, and we were able to adjust to going to online things and recruiting people through the internet and Facebook and all the other media sources out there. But eventually you literally had to adapt or die.
Definitely.
So
yes. As a Chatelaine, do you find now post-COVID that some of the online techniques are still just as applicable now as they were during COVID?
Yes, very much so, because you have people that can't come out, and having them to where they've got something where they can, have some kind of interaction with people right there. That is an amazing investment in time that you need to do. So it's not just, it's a virtual world now, or half virtual, half real. And we've seemed to have actually done the transference. So it's actually taking shape and actually doing something good. But it's, you gotta reinvent the wheel on this particular Chrysler if you're going to be able to sell it.
Exactly. And you know what? We have a guest who's chimed in, and Juniper, hello, good evening, or good morning, wherever you happen to be. That's how they got involved. They got involved because it was virtual and online. Unless you're referring to the friend or family, which also is applicable, because guess what? I shared the heck out of all the links for everything virtual with my friends that were non-SCA players, so that they could see what it is that I do in my spare time when I'm not hanging out with them.
even your podcast or your vlogcast here, the Road to Retention, that serves a purpose. And I'm not just saying, because it's given me a chance to get up here and say, hey, yeah, we need to recruit. It's more than that. It actually gets it to where people can actually connect one way or another. And it's not just connecting at fighter practice. It's connecting worldwide. We're a society of the world.
Yes, definitely. And it's time to think more global versus local, because there's so many more opportunities. There's so many more dinosaurs, as you put it, so many vast wealths of knowledge that you can find in other baronies, other kingdoms, other continents than what we used to have access to. Unless you went to a Pensig, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, you may not have ever met some of these legends. Unless you were fortunate enough to have them in your kingdom, you may never have met them. So unless you attend giant events or have one in your kingdom that happens to be nearby, you never would have met them. But now with online media, virtually, you can meet those people. You can talk to them and ask questions and get sagely advice and hear the really, really sometimes interesting stories of behaviors that maybe are not acceptable socially anymore, which do happen because people changed. Juniper's a family. Family got her in. It's good family.
So I don't know about the other. I can speak about Atenveld approximately 5 years ago. That was the main cause. So, and it's and there are challenges too for getting into people, because it's not, after you've invited so many family and friends, the ones that actually are weird enough to actually go for it, they've pretty much come in and done their thing. But you've also got to know how to talk to people. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, looking at right here at my picture and everything like that. I'm 6'8" and 300 pounds. Okay. I'm a big man. I don't go walking across parking lots at night. If there's a lady walking by herself and if she's in an elevator by herself, I let her go by herself because
Mhm.
I am the technical bad guy in all the stuff. Even with the white beard, it's just, it's still the bad guy. So you've got to learn how to start a conversation with people, and
Definitely.
and a sense of humor helps a lot,
Oh gosh.
because I've walked up behind people before and they'll be like talking to us like, this fighter practice, what's going on over here and everything like that. And I go over there, what the heck are those people doing over there? And they turn to me and say like, yeah, and then yeah. I said, what would you like to know? So it breaks the ice and gets it going. But that's that's just one of the techniques that I use. But
Definitely.
yeah.
We've got Karen chiming in from Lokach saying that they're in a rural area, which I also live in a rural area, so I totally get this, and that they see an increase in local activity through friends, families, and work colleagues, where demos for recruitment or recruitment drives never work in their area. So
Mm-hmm.
in my area, I'm in Montana, which is
Big
pretty.
Sky.
It's a big sky country. It's real pretty, but it's not a large metropolis type area. It is rural, it is forest, it is plains. It's
Mm-hmm.
very pretty, but not a lot of people. So in
Yeah.
my local barony, like before we were barony, even as a shire, our recruitment opportunities really did come super through friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't count cows and buffaloes as SCA members, Cal. And we've never tried in my area, just so you're aware, Mr. Funny Pants. Um,
It'd be a very moving experience.
it would.
Yes.
And you definitely got to watch where you step when you try that kind of shenanigan.
Yes.
But word of mouth by friends and family, like, hey, I'm going to go do this thing. Come with me. You got to wear a pretty dress.
Mm-hmm.
I'll loan you this. I'll loan you that. We'll get you this. Or hey, you know what? Want to see something really cool? Come to fighter practice on this date. I gotta hit people in armor with sticks, and
Mm-hmm.
and that works. Um, one of my friends, like one of my best friends, wound up meeting his future wife, who became my other best friend. By they were working together, and he just happened to bring her to fighter practice, and started the whole thing. Like took her to a huge event for our area, and then not only was it her but her 4 children, and
Mm-hmm.
it just became a thing, and just like, hey, that's how it works. And some of their friends, like coworkers, definitely are a great way. Your family's great way. Friends of family, even better way, because it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be your friend even.
Just every 6 months, every group go out and invite somebody that they think would be weird enough to fit in. Boom. That's all you got to do.
And if it's you're concerned about the financial, there are places that your baronies or your shires or your kingdom will offer a scholarship for a newcomer to go to an event without having to pay the fee. There are individuals who privately will pay site fees.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts of ways. And some places have literally events that are open to the public, free for anyone. Like we've had in Artemisia 2 events, or one event, definitely going to have another one, where like there's no site fee to make it accessible. You signed the waiver. Bam,
Mm-hmm.
walk in the door, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the best opportunity to bring your friends and family or acquaintances or coworkers to see what it is we do.
Yeah. But you're not at all passionate about this or anything, are you?
Not at all.
As a wise man once said, give a man a wallet, he will have money for a day. Teach a man social historical reenactment, he'll be poor forever.
Exactly. Like, well, it was like you were talking in the beginning. If you want to make sure that people get to events that maybe financially can't afford it,
Mm-hmm.
because they can't afford the gas, you offer them a seat in your car.
Yeah.
The same goes not just for our long-term members, which you should always have available, but the same goes for new members. Like,
Yes.
it is very hard sometimes for new members who really want to do the traveling, who really want to do the fighting, they really want to get involved in arts and science. Like, those things all cost money. And
we are society. Okay. We are a society. And as such, you have to look out for your neighbor. Okay.
Definitely.
That's how it is. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to be able to see to this prosperity of everybody who's in the village by doing their part.
Yeah, definitely.
So have I given you enough room for a segue?
I think so. But before we jump in that segue, first I want to shout out to Lady Elise, who's Kingdom Shadowland in Artemisia. She's incredible. And she also has a group that's a mix of the military, farmers, and families with word of mouth. And they've done 2 demos locally in the last 3 weeks. Kick butt girl, I did too. Literally yesterday was a demo, although I actually wasn't working that demo, but the local group was. And yes, 6
Yeah,
very cool.
I know her. So.
But, it's great to see the people at demos, and it's great to refer them. But we find out really whether or not, are they going to show up at the next day's fighter practice? Are they going to show up at the next event that we plug? Maybe not. It's really hard to see. And then sometimes we'll see a flow in our online every time we do a demo. Either we'll wind up getting an influx of new people requesting membership to our Facebook group, or we won't at all. So it's really hard to gauge if a demo actually does a lot. But I do think, as far as recruitment and retention, but I do think it's crucial for community awareness regardless.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about community, because you got a nickname that you let me know about real quick here. Uncle Fergie? You want to talk about that?
Yes. Okay, quick give a shout out to all the Wildcats at the College of St. Felix. Yeah, buddies. Call it St. Felix because who's the wildest cat around? Felix the cat. Anyway. But about 24 years ago, I figured it would be a good idea to reactivate the college at the University of Arizona campus, because there had been 2 previous incarnations of it in the 70s and in the 80s. And I figured it was about time. And who knows, maybe we could use some of the stuff at the U of A to hold events or stuff. It's worth a shot. I put in an ad in the newspaper. This will tell you how long ago it was. And I had 8 people show up. And from that group of 8 people, over the years, we've gone from just a core group of 4 to 5, which was the bare minimum of what it is, all the way up to our last fighter practice after we had our club fair. We had 57 people show up, brand spanking new. So it's and the thing that people don't realize is they say a college group, it's great for getting young kids and everything. Yeah, but school comes first. Real life first. That's what they're there for. Is school comes first. So we lose some people to that. Then we eventually lose people to matriculation, where they graduate. Okay, we lose some people like that. We also, lose people because of their schedule. They can't go to the Thursday night fighter practice or something like that. So we lose them at that right there. And then they try and come back the next semester, see if they fit back in. It's a constantly moving, adjusting thing. And what baronies have to realize is that when they've got a college in there, it's literally a constantly morphing type of situation. So you basically got to go over there to the group. And thankfully, the barony that I'm in, the barony of Trisketir, for those of you who can't pronounce it, say Triscuits and beer. It works. We have a good, solid foundation with the barony where they will come out and help. And we'll have knights show up and show them how to do the armor. We'll have mods and white scarfs come out and show them how to do the fencing. We'll have people doing arts classes and everything like that. It's just basically, it's just like, this is a section of what the SCA offers. Here's the rabbit holes. Tell us what you want. Okay, here's the stuff. Boom. And gets them going. We got a main event coming up in a week and a half called Melee Camp, where it's teaching people how to fight in groups for War of the Phoenix. Up
Oh,
in, yeah, up
that's
there.
awesome.
So they'll learn the different ways and how to work as groups. And then when they take that to the Kingdom War practice, they'll be able to finesse that a little bit more, get the commanders in place and everything, and be able to be more effective out on the battlefield. Get those war points and show that Adenvelt is all powerful overall. Sorry.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm in
that's opinion. That's
Artemisia,
opinion.
so
Yeah,
we go where we go.
yeah. But that's opinion right there. So try not to hold it against me, folks. Anyway, little healthy discord is good, but I'm not trying to start a war here.
I mean, War of the Phoenix. It is a
Yeah.
war, right?
It is a war that I'm going to be running the information station at.
Ooh.
It's basically a 10 by 20 pavilion set up right at the edge of Merchants Row. And if anybody has any questions about what's going on at war, I have the latest and greatest link to the gate book, and I'm able to direct people of that. Okay, you go down this way, down this road, hang a left. There's the tea house. Shout out. And or you can go to the battlefield that way, or you can go to the hound coursing this way, the archery fields over here, and basically, be a guide for what it is, because that's what a chatelaine is a host and a guide. And what our main job is to get people where they want to go. At least that's how I see it. So
No, I agree. Networking, whether it's people or you're networking how to get to where you want to be.
And they put us right next to the motor pool last year, so people would be waiting for the rides on the golf carts and everything. So I would ask people, well, what are you into in the SCA? And basically, ask them, like, what would you like a newcomer to liking experience and everything? And I did it as a fact-finding mission too, and got them to thinking about retention and recruitment and what all it entails and everything like that.
I love that.
On a microcosm, because when you have a good stimulating conversation with somebody, you get to know them and you get to know how they do things. And I'm thankful the fact that I have not met all the people that are going to be bringing magic into my life yet.
No.
So
never stops.
Yes. But that's the thing is if you want the magic, you got to go out and find it.
Yes. So, it doesn't usually come to you.
No.
You got to seek it out. Speaking of seeking out magic, we're going to change gears here for a moment.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about the most amazing thing that's coming up. The most amazing thing that I believe...
hip replacement? No.
No. I mean, that's amazing, but all for different reasons.
Okay.
I believe you're kind of autocrating something coming up.
Well...
Let's see.
Let me first set the stage for it. Okay. Yeah, that's my fault. No.
Well, I mean, if that's your fault, that's something to be happy about.
Let me explain why. Okay.
Yes.
People are going like, Gnome World Chatelaine Hospitaller Symposium. Why? What's going on? What kind of classes do you need? What kind of stuff like that? It's very simple. Okay. 9 times out of 10, a chatelaine is thrown into an office. They say, "You're the newcomer recruiter." Okay. And when they sign the paperwork, suddenly they're gifted with these like 10 boxes full of old clothing.
Ugh, gold key.
And they have to figure out what to do with it, keep track of it, and everything like that. The thing is that this is designed, and all of the classes will be recorded. I'm saying this again, all the classes will be recorded and available on YouTube as a training aid for chatelaines, okay? Because they say everybody's a chatelaine. How many people have been trained to be chatelaines? Raise
Not
your
many.
hands. I don't see that many out there, okay? So if anything, if everybody's a chatelaine, everybody needs to get trained. So what is appropriate or not to talk about,
Definitely.
to get out there as far as the word goes, what's good. You need to find out what works, story bonding or something like that in your particular area. If it's demos, it's demos. You work to your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line is you've got to know what the basic tenet of recruitment, retention, and belonging is, so that you can actually go forward and get people in the seats. So they're enjoying themselves. They're learning them from everybody else. The knowledge is being spread. There's nothing wrong with knowledge being spread,
No.
regardless of what the politicians think. But anyway.
No, I'm with you 100%. Like,
Yeah.
the best way to be able to do something is learn how to do it and do it well and play to your strengths and, strengthen your weaknesses as well.
Yeah. And that's what this event is all about. It's about getting people what they need to be able to talk to a newcomer. Be it from one of the classes is going to be that I'm teaching is how to start a conversation. Okay.
That's a class that's not just like a chatelaine skill. That's all the way
across the board. But at the same time, we've got all sorts of different things we're going to be working with. Like, for example, we're going to have social media presence, so that what can social media do for the chatelaines office? How can they work together to get the word out about an event or a demo or something special coming up that would be useful?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've also got a Chatelaine 101 class or track in this right here, where it's like, basically, here's the stuff, teaches about story bonding, teaches about demo work, teaches about what to do with the clothes and everything like that, what the gold key does. And it basically takes Chatelaine Hospitaller gold key and opens it up and says, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We've got things. One of the things is going to be, and this right here will be of great interest to a bunch of Chatelaines, is we're going to have a Chatelaine roundtable with horror stories.
Which is important to talk about our failures.
Yes.
And what
we
went
talk about
wrong and why it went wrong.
And exactly. And then that way we're able to figure out what to do right in the future. Mm-hmm. But it's more about that. It's so much information. I'm having trouble just diversing it to you.
People are getting excited about it already. We've got
I hope so.
Yeah, Johanna's excited for it.
Yes.
We got Adrian and Aslak. That social media, you say? Well, yes, Master Aslak.
Yes. But it's going to have social media. It's going to have DEIB. It's going to have a special track. We're going to have the SCA and the deaf as one of the classes, and also a class on SCA for the blind. Okay. Why is it that people with disabilities are being held out from us? They shouldn't be. They should be able to be enjoyed and come in and enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah. So, but it should be any disability. Whether it happens to be physical, emotional, mental, whether it happens to be, because of age or injury, we should have our SCA be accessible and inclusive and let you feel part of belonging to it, because you do belong to it.
Yes. And it's that simple. It's just that easy. And we record the classes, and we have that up on YouTube so you can look over it. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is another class on how to run a successful college group.
Oh, that's a nice one. That
Because
I'm gonna
because
have to put that one.
I've been running, or okay, correction. I have not been running. I set it up to run, but I've been there throughout the entire time period and helping in the background. The students run it
Mm-hmm.
and actually make it something to be proud of. And believe me, I'm a proud Uncle Fergie with this group right here, because they get out there and you say, you know, here's a goal. These kids, and I say that kids because I'm 56 years old. I'm a Gen Xer. I can say they're kids because they were born after 2000. Okay. I can say this, but they go after it with a gusto and a tenacity.
Oh gosh.
That you don't see anywhere. But the thing is that they just need a little direction as far as where they go. We've got people that who've been playing almost a year, okay? Who and Zach, Victoria, I'm talking to you guys. Been playing less than a year, but they have figured it out. They grok what the SCA is all about, and they've basically become big brother and big sister in the St. Felix group, and are helping them learn and do stuff that way.
That's cool.
It's the thing is these college students, brilliant people.
Oh God, yeah.
Who just are just looking for something to do, and you give them a purpose, and things get done
fast too, because they don't like to mess around. They like to get things done fast.
No, and the thing is they're part of the technology boom. They're part of the all the stuff online. They're COVID kids. They learned how to do it while they were do all the Zoom and everything like that. So social media is like their bread and butter. They're on Discord more than Facebook, but still, you get the idea.
Yeah. What other kind of classes are you having at this event?
Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! Let me look at my listing here if I can find it.
Because I just know I'm dying to know more classes, which means maybe somebody else is also dying to know. Like I already yes, I need to go on to how to host a college. Yes, I need to go to the Chatelaine 101. Yes, I totally want to go to the SCA for the deaf and hearing impaired. Yes. Like those are definitely classes I want to go to. So I'm excited to hear what else you have.
That's the rub right there. Is people are saying, what type of classes do you need to have? I'm hoping that using this pulpit right here as a chance to be able to tell people, bring what you got, bring it, sign up.
You're still looking for classes?
We're still looking for classes. We're trying to get them all done and in by November 1st. There are people out there with knowledge, abilities, and just the straight power to be able to transfer what their knowledge of chatelaning is into how the SCA works with the newcomer. So I'm saying, I'm begging, I'm pleading, please give us some classes. Okay, there's the link right there. You can pop in there
and snap it on your phone if you're watching this on your phone. Freeze frame it on your PC. Make a screen capture.
And load up on all these classes, because we can use you. We can, as far as your data, like I said, we have 5 tiers of classes, being social media and DEIB and Chatelaine 101, recruitment and retention. If you have any class that would fit in any of those 5 situations, please, my goodness gracious, just give us a sign. Let us know. Let us know. This is my call out to you guys right here, because we need you. Because right now we're planning on starting in Drakenwald time. And going from Drakenwald and then going across the United States and then all the way to Locock. Okay? That can be done in 16 hours.
That's awesome.
But the thing is we need content. We want to be able to fill everything as best we can. and we need content, and that's what I'm basically putting out the words here. And you graciously brought me in here and everything, and it's basically me saying, guys, give us content. If you have any questions, you can email chatelaine@atenvelt.org, or if you're interested in helping out, chatelaine@atenvelt.org. I will be more than happy to talk with you on a one-by-one basis and get you in there. We've got a good crew in there already, but we can always use more help support. We've got the College of St. Felix are going to be coming in as our room monitors and be protecting us from spam, from Zoom bombers and everything like that. So, and
no random streakers. Gotcha.
Nothing like that. And to top it all off, here's the pièce de résistance, he says with a French accent.
I love it.
Is that our way that we've set it up on our website is a castle portcullis. The day of, once you register for the event, you click on that portcullis. It'll get you to register and do your viabilities, all the things that prove you are who you say you are. It'll go to the floor plan of a castle. Each one of those floor plan, the rooms in the castle, will be where you go to your classes.
So each of the rooms will have a different link to each of the classes and class tracks.
Exactly. So it's going to be, you can roll over it, see what it is, and click on it. You'll automatically be transported to that room. Or if you've got something you want to do over, you can actually be put into a breakout room at that time. So Mistress Sophia the Orange is setting us up. It's going to be hosted by the Kingdom of Atenvelt, and it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. We're hoping to get everybody from Locock to Atlantia to Drakenball to the east, to Antir to the Anstiora. Anybody and everything in the SCA, we want to get you in there. And if you've got something to say regarding recruitment, retention, DEIB, social media on how that affects the Chatelaines office, or just a basic Chatelaine 101, Hospitaller 101, we want you in there. We need you in there.
So we have a good question.
Yes.
Is there a standard class length that you're looking for? Are you looking for 30 minutes, for an hour, 2 hour?
50 minutes.
50 minutes.
That gives us time to do a class, and you can actually, party down, meet people, social network, or just network with people in the main lobby.
I love it.
That's how we're going to be doing it, and it's to get everyone on the same page. And I was trying to save this for the actual event itself, but the thing is that they say everybody's a chatelaine. That's not true. Everybody's an ambassador of the SCA. You are what people see when they first come in. You are what they see and can be literally their inspiration to their future. That's you. That's all you. And if you actually know and train and learn what it is to be a chatelaine and actually know what to tell them and how to assist them, do that right there. You're going to be that person that was, to use an example, I've got a young girl who likes to dress as a fairy princess at the beginning of spring and hand out flowers at the mall. Okay?
I love that.
4-year-old girl, okay, got a flower from her and said she's a princess, okay? Mm-hmm. But I guarantee you later on in life, this girl is going to grow up and she's going to think of that fairy princess and she's going to smile because one person made a difference in their life.
Yeah, definitely.
One person can make a difference in anybody's life. They just have to believe that they can do it and carry it through. Which is why, on occasion, I wear a funny hat.
I love funny hats. I love all hats. I mean, not that that's a surprise or anything.
Yeah. Well, I'll put this one up against you any day.
Yours is going to win every day of the week. Every day of the week. It wins.
Okay. Yes,
Well,
this is Santa Claus telling you that the SCA needs you. That the SCA needs you to come forth, bring your classes, bring your A game, bring your networking skills, bring your list of what you're able to do, and bring it to the Known World Chatelaine Hospitaller Symposium on
well, now
December 30th at a Zoom near you.
I think I might have to put together something because uh, that's my passion. I'm
You are
willing to.
more than welcome. How to put on a vlogcast?
Hey, I know the talkie part. I don't do the technical part. That part is confusing to me. I can work many things on a computer. This
That's
particular platform is super easy and friendly, but I still am not as good. Cal push buttons good. Yes, Cal pushes
yes.
the
I'll
buttons
push
behind
buttons.
the
Good.
scenes
Yes.
great for me, and I appreciate it all the time because otherwise you guys would have a much different experience and it would not be as pleasant. Trust me.
Yeah. Whether or not they'd have mooks like me on here, I don't know. But
Eh,
anyway.
I'd still have people like you. I'd have people like all sorts of people. Um, well, we're getting to the top of the hour, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do some quick pluggables, and then I'm gonna do
Okay.
some shout outs, if that works.
Okay.
So coming up next on Coffee with Cal, we have dun, 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 creating safe places. And it's actually, instead of Coffee with Cal, we have Coffee with Gudrun and their guest, Sifa. So it's going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to this one.
Which could be used as a class for the Known World Chatelaine Symposium, if you think about it.
Oh, maybe we need to, get you in
Yeah.
touch with Sifa.
Yeah.
Like that could be a thing.
Yeah.
And then looks like on 1029, Coffee with Cal, we've got Coffee with Logan, Breathing New Life. Cal, you got a graphic for that or not yet? Maybe, possibly. Boop boop. Well, there it is.
There
Yay,
we
Coffee with
go.
Logan and Arjun. It's Breathing New Life. It's gonna be amazing.
Mhm.
Next on Road to Retention, I have the honor and privilege of having my special guest as Master Aslak the Awful, who is absolutely anything but awful, whether or not he'll tell you that's a different story, because he's extremely humble as well. But it'll be a fun show, because Aslak is also an Artemisian, which I love having my fellow Artemisians on here, even though I love having Atenvelt and everywhere else on here. But I get the pleasure of knowing them usually a lot better in person when it's fellow Artemisians. So it should be a good show. We're gonna have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
It's worthwhile. Trust me. You'll want to tune in.
Thank you for the opportunity here to plug my event. But it's
an important event.
I'm hoping so. But the thing is that, and I'm looking at everybody out there right now. It'll only happen if you jump in.
I'll jump in. I volunteer as tribute.
I need some people to come in as tribute. Okay.
And hours are not a problem. I can work on anybody's time zone. I can make it happen.
Yeah, and we can also pre-record you if you want to do it that way and play you during the thing. We've got all this technology. We can do it. We can accommodate you in whatever it is. If you've got PowerPoint slides, we've got, when you log into the class listing and submitting your class, you can upload your PowerPoint slides. We've got anything and everything. If you got video, we'll work it over. We got people that are in the know and know how to do this stuff. Perfect. I sure don't know how to do it, but the thing is you connect with people who do know how to do it, and you can get magic to happen.
Definitely. Oh, jumping into the deep with Fergie. One of our guests pointed that out, Lady Elise. So at the end of the show, I like to do a shout out.
Okay.
I'd like to have my guests, if they would like to do a shout out, do so.
I've been cheating. I've been doing my shout outs as I've been going along, but just I have to do a shout out to my home, the Kingdom of Atenvelt, my barony, the barony of Turiskathir, and my kids, the College of St. Felix, because without all of you putting up with my BS over the years. I don't know where I'd be, but mostly just a shout out to the one lady who's put up with me more than anybody else, and that'd be Kitty Cat. That's my wife.
Aww.
Who is my rock and is not afraid to use that rock up beside my head. So
Wow.
we'll leave it at that. Anyway,
A shout out like that. I actually was going to shout out to Alex the Scribe. I am rocking my Alex the Scribe gear today on my little chainmail. Boop, boop.
Oh,
Hey!
I got this right here. This is from Lord Gallant, also known as Brian Rollins. He did this all himself. So
all artists
that's a shout out to him right there.
Things for the SCA, for members. Like, Alex definitely goes a long way when it comes to recruitment and retention and belonging, because their art helps people feel seen and belong. So rocking my Rainbow Pride pelican pendant tonight. So that was my shout out for the evening. Once again, we would like to... Oh, Alex! My shout out was to you just as you jumped in.
Alex, it's your birthday.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us tonight. I definitely want to thank you, Fergie. It's been amazing having you on my show, and I don't
watching me rant.
No, it's definitely not ranting. And if anything, I like to rant way more than you, maybe, or at least feel mentally inside my head like I do.
Okay.
But I'll have a hard time always having the just Fergie for you when we talk now going forward. Definitely not just a Fergie. Once again, I want to thank everybody. Have a beautiful time of evening if you still have evening left. If not, good night and go to sleep. Or good morning if you're watching this in the morning. Thanks, everyone.
Night.